Welcome back, Captain. All systems are now operating. We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural... What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and... The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit. Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a... The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must... Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are Criminals, goodness no. Smuggling is a perfectly legitimate business venture. Plenty of ways to make money in Halcyon, you know. Not all are above board. Oh, well, sophisticated humor, puns. Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make... Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of... None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it... Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design. I call it the Holographic Shroud. Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The Shroud It has limits. First-generation technology, you see. But very simply, the Holographic Shroud uses biometric information... Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur. Best used in moderation. When you maintain your distance, act normal, no running. A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy cereal? What in a... The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and finger. Science, that's how. The beauty is they don't expect it. The shroud is the only... Activate the disguise, walk past someone. What do they see? A figure dressed... Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you... The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them...
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart... Just to warn you, we may have a bedbug infestation. I am investigating non-toxic extermination measures. Non-toxic to you, I mean. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of... The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters... I have lots of minutes. Many minutes. I prefer to think of it as being in a state of slumber. Perhaps... When I simulate myself in such a scenario, I do not find it to be traveling the system with you, Captain. Do you know what it feels like when the ship undergoes an unexpected power surge? As you may be aware, Captain Alex Hawthorne was a smuggler of some repute. In our travels together, Alex liked to pass. If you mean, was Captain Hawthorne my first? How can I be? What part of the colony would you like to? Ah, yes. As Dr. Wells is a wanted outlaw, he built his laboratory into an... There is a bounty on his head, one with a markedly high reward amount. A sensible choice, as we do not have... The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken... Even knowing the location, my system... Of course, what part of the colony... We're cleared to dock with the Groundbreaker if that's your desired destination. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been... The Groundbreaker was Halcyon's original colony ship. Freighters often deliver or pick up goods from the Groundbreaker en route. Many of Halcyon's companies maintain office space. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been filed in... I can, yes. Let me add that to my list of... You are more than welcome. How can I be of assistance? Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear? I need a little help with my calculus. Can you enter? Now playing a Spacer's Choice advert.
It's not the best choice.
Everyone in Halcyon is contractually obligated to label this. As you wish, Captain. I must comply. Goodbye. I so enjoy watching you sleep for hours on end, Captain. Destination reached. The Groundbreaker.
Can we talk? Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I abso-surely can. I'm a passing fair... But I'm used to working on cannery lines. All I'm looking for is a few pointers. I bet a lady... Gosh, no, Captain. I aim to stay so... I figured Junlei and I could And maybe when we put into Groundbreaker, I could... Thanks, Captain. Did you want to talk about something else?
Smells like grease and unwashed bodies. Just as I remembered.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah.
Customs and inspection, right this way. Identification, please. Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such...
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably. Not stuck, per se. You could always throw yourself... Of course, then you'd find yourself with an exciting new problem. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so I shouldn't be mentioning it. But what the hell? This here, impounding your ship? If I had to take a guess as to why, you probably riled up the wrong petty board. Not gonna lie, you're in a pickle. But Udam's an interesting guy. Huh. Records show this ain't the first time your ship's been impounded. Seems to get cleared up pretty quick. You might not be in this pickle. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing... Wanda Dorset over in sickbay? Tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon. A handful of SAM cleaning units retrofitted for surgery. I don't know much else. I stopped listening when she started yelling. Much appreciated. Is there anything else? The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go. On your left when you enter the make sure you bring it. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying ground... Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of... 2 biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublights Alp. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station. Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards.
If you're thinking to make a career here, don't waste your time. Full-time jobs on Groundbreaker tend to be inherited, or go to a fellow crewman. Are you pulling my leg? You must be one of them long-haul freighters from outside the colony. Goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that a bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation. Yep, Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing. Groundbreaker was one of the original colony vessels to come over on the crossing. A few years before her once everybody'd been de-thawed and dropped dirt side, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather... I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Now, here we... Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Glad to help. Relative to the board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the means to go where they aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too... They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say, Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and they're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. All right. He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he does. Not that he would, being a board man and all. Really likes his cereals, too. Maybe a little too much.
Don't see what's so wrong about liking cereals. They're fun.
Udom takes it to an, You noticed, huh? What can I say? We're passionate folks, and the board can't abide that independent spirit, especially not when it might impact their bottom. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top and manifest processing fees with every one. You sure you didn't just step off one of the interstellar freighters? There's no working with the board. They don't share, not bits, people, or resources. You work for them, or you don't work at all. Groundbreaker cooperating now would be tantamount to joining their ranks, and we sure as shit ain't about to do that. It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation, but where'd that lead us? They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they...
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
The board is necessary to provide order to the colony. They believe it's their prerogative.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we make do all right. Sure thing. Be seeing you.
Unless you're here to file an incident report or to inquire about the bounty posting, I'm... Got a hot one for you. Captain Gunnar McRed. Allegations include several counts of swerving in the air was more like it. Then he crashed hard into the dock and spilled Rizzo's Violet Spectrum vodka all over Officer Hartley. An affront of its... Last tip we got pointed toward the back bays. You want the reward? Oh, I will. Soon as the chief approves the personnel reorg. You and about 6 other enterprising mavericks. It's only a matter of time before someone brings me... I do hope you're the lucky hunter, though. Good. Do I look like your gossipy best friend? Well, I'm on post. Then get to business or get moving. We're the security force here on Groundbreaker. The original force was made up of a Marine detachment from the 70s. Folks started calling us Mardettes.
Try not to be distracted by the glare of the adverts. Lots of unsavory types about.
12% more crunch.
Ooh, can we rent an upstairs room?
Bless my heart. A strange... You here for a particular reason? Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar... Those have been the height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for disgust. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. Now, I only have the one nav key. And they're hard to come by these days. Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little moral flexibility. Do you know Edna, over in engineering? Sweet as a pea, that one. She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Can't say I know for sure. Maybe it never...
Sounds like someone poking into somewhere they shouldn't be.
Comm centers don't operate themselves, Captain. Someone...
Those corps are cleverer than all get out. Might have been a ruse. Edna didn't seem to think so, and I trust the dear girl's judgment. Well, maybe not in men, but... And if someone set up shop in Roseway... Maybe whatever they're hiding went to heck, and now they need a few spare hands. If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buyer. The more we got the corps fighting each other, the less time... My goodness, aren't you quick on the uptake? Should you find yourself responding to a certain then we ought to have a chat over a... Law bless your atoms. Here's a copy of the SOS recording, complete with the cord. Don't forget to come find old... Might want to acquaint yourself with Junlei Tennyson, Groundbreaker's chief. You'll find her fretting in engineering. I'd say she's a sweet... Yes, dear. Take that darling ship of yours down to Roseway, where that distress signal I told you about shouldn't be too tough for a What do you want? That's right, dearie. The only independent station. Though for how long, I can't say. The board can't abide a community that won't bend to its will. They've always got one scheme or another running, looking for ways to bring us, but it won't work. No, sir. Go right ahead, sweetheart. Groundbreaker's radiators. Been neither fine nor dandy for weeks now. Miss Junlei's supposed to be getting them fixed, but the board can't abide a community that won't bend to its... They've always got one scheme or another running, but it won't work. No, sir. Ask the common folk, and they'll tell you it's on account of all the monsters on... Because that's what the board tells them. I think they made some fool mistake that would make them look bad to the... Those board folk are real prideful-like. Never want you looking behind the curtain. But old Gladys knows the score. The whole colony's not much more than a dot. That's why we gotta keep them from getting their grubby mitt... Probably. Every once in a while, we get these snippets of radio chatter. Edna shows them to me. Some man hooting claims he's transmitting from Monarch, but who knows if that's true. Oh, a little of this, a little of that. I buy and sell. I also knit throw pillows stuffed with the hair of famous tossball players. But that's more of a passion.
I'm not sure that's entirely legal.
That's half the reason I make them, Mike. But that's not what you wanted to talk about, is it, dear? Anytime, sweetheart. You know where to find me. Here, take a candy with you.
I know she's in there, Mfuru.
Thought there'd be more machinery. Must be housed on a sub-level.
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the No, it isn't. It's a mess. But it's my mess, so I'll take the compliment. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the... Good. Don't go making trouble, and chances are you won't find any. That's... So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out... Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going. Most of them board spies and corporate sprats.
What? I didn't think you just...
Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name.
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with actual, real spaceships, Miss Junlei.
Junlei is fine.
Force of habit, I guess. Okay. Since you run a whole space station...
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati.
Right. In person. Sure thing, Captain. Wow, great. I'll do that then. Messages. Couldn't have done it without your moral support, Captain.
Now, if there's nothing else, there are other parts. Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated... Only the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me. None. Every time I give in to the board, Groundbreaker loses its freedom. Soon there won't be anything left. The board isn't helping and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back online, Groundbreaker... Reasonable, huh? That's the best news I've heard all day. According to my grandmother's old schematics, the parts we need should be in the back bays. Sorry, I forgot not everyone knows this ship like I do. The back bays are on a lower deck, long abandoned and a... Good. Once you've obtained the parts, we can proceed. Sorry about the heat. Here, drink up. Frustrating. Everything down to the circuit boards is past warranty, so I have the pleasure of making... Plus, there's no time to train my successor or document... Sure is. The Tennysons came over on the Groundbreaker. My grandmother, Chief Gang. I was promoted only recently.
They must have been amazing people to have taught you all.
That means a lot coming from a fellow engineer. It was different knowing that I couldn't turn to anyone who could answer the tough questions for me. Maybe you can see why I'm protective of Groundbreaker. This ship is family.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm really just a...
Don't sell yourself short. It doesn't take a seasoned pro to tinker on Groundbreaker. We're always thirsting for help. If you could find your way around this lab... I hope that was a joke, Captain. I really do. I gelded that thing years ago. Now it brews a stem that goes... You see any bite-sized Tennyson children running around? I didn't think so. The next captain won't have my heritage. I'll have to foster that. You've got my attention. You're right, I don't. The board is after two things, bits and power, and they... I placate them when I have something to offer, but I can also be a real hard-ass. It'd be a joy if I could kick out the core. Too much of Groundbreaker's income is flowing in the wrong direction. You've got my attention.